Check 1, 2. Booyah, awesome. Alright, so Elektron, you see I already learned how to do that. If you double tap the stop button, then it will cut off all sounds going in the Digitakt. Awesome. Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back. So this is Attila, and we're gonna keep going with the read the fucking manual of the Elektron Digitakt, yeah, not Digiton, Digitakt. I am about 3/4 way done with the quick start guide, and it's been a while since I streamed one of these because, well, I've been busy, and I also had a few things that I needed to figure out with the Digitakt, which basically just shows how much I don't know how this thing works just yet. So basically I recorded a brand new sample pack of just all acoustic samples down in that hallway. No, you can't really see it. Anyways, I have a long hallway there which kind of acts like a nice big ass echo chamber. So I recorded a whole bunch of nice percussive samples there, you know, tubes, coffee makers, protein boxes, just whacking at them, and I tried to upload those samples into the Digitakt. Actually, the sample pack turned out to be pretty good, but that's a whole another story. So I uploaded the samples into the Digitakt, and I think I just read a quick version of how to do that quickly and efficiently. And when I loaded the samples into the Digitakt and I did something stupid, which I'm still not aware of what it was, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the answer once I know how the whole structure of the internal storage and projects and patterns and whatnot works. But basically what happened when I loaded these samples in, I replaced all the samples that were in there in these few factory preset patterns that you get with the Digitakt when you buy it, and when you first start playing with it. So it has a few, I think 2 banks of it has 2 banks of factory preset patterns, and basically all the samples that were used to make these patterns were replaced by the samples that I uploaded. So I was like, okay, factory reset, which was awesome because it's fairly simple. You basically turn the thing off, you turn it back on while holding the function key, and then you press the third trigger pad to do a factory reset. So now everything is back to normal. It's basically, we're starting from scratch, but that was a fun way for me to learn how not to do sample uploading with the Digitakt. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to, okay, what is this? And I'm pretty sure we'll get to the reason why that happened, and I'm gonna have another eureka moment where I go, oh shit, okay, so that's what I did wrong and now I understand. But I think that's gonna be about step 972. Right now we're on step 24, which is still trying to learn how the basic operation of this thing works. So right now I'm at the live recording mode. Part of the quick start guide, and again I emphasize this is not the manual, this is just the quick start guide. Once I'm done with this, then I'll go and do the manual. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up now and I'm gonna keep reading. So live recording mode is the second method of adding triggers to the tracks. So the first method was the grid recording mode, where if I go to a bank and I choose a new pattern, and now this is empty because I did a factory reset, so those patterns that I made in these first three patterns, they are no longer there, but that's okay, we'll replace them. Anyhow, so if you remember the first way of recording stuff is the grid recording mode, which is once you have a new pattern or an existing pattern that you want to update, you basically enable recording. First you select an instrument that you want to enter steps for in the grid, and then you enable recording, and yeah. So that would be grid recording mode. So now we're gonna go and look into the next way of next method of adding triggers to the tracks, which is the live recording mode. In this recording mode, all the trigger keys are played in real time to input triggers to the tracks. Oh shit, that should be fun, because I cannot do any finger drumming whatsoever. It is also possible to enter parameter locks in real time. Okay, press and hold record, then press play to enter live recording mode. Cool. Press play twice while keeping the record key pressed to activate, deactivate automatic quantization, which is probably a smart thing for me to do, since, like I said, I cannot finger drum to save my life. The sequencer will start to play and the record key will start to flash red, and that's already doing it. Now, if I stop it, okay, so now live recording quantized, and it does say it on the top of the little display there, so that's cool. Enter triggers to all tracks of the sequencer in real time by tapping the trigger keys. So, okay, so this is basically where you can actually really finger drum, if you know which pad holds what sound. Again, I don't know how to finger drum, but yeah. And it quantized it. Yeah, so isn't there a way to turn on the metronome? How do you turn on the metronome? Yeah, isn't there some, like, there has to be some sort of a, okay, maybe this, metronome, active E, okay, I can hear shit, active E, time signature 4x4, pre-roll bars off. Oh, I guess it will only work when I'm recording, would that make sense? Let's set pre-roll bars to 1 bar, volume 64. Okay, so we'll leave that there. I'm not hearing the metronome. Why am I not hearing metronome? Okay. Activate. Yes. Okay, let's look into this. Okay, why is there nothing? Okay, pattern. The secondary function opens the metronome menu. Great. So how do we? Okay, never mind. I mean. anyway. Okay, I don't know how the metronome works. I'm sure we'll get to that later on. Is it because the level of it is too low? Maybe if I put it up to 127, it will... Nope, I'm still not hearing anything. Is it because the metronome is not conveyed through USB, maybe? Maybe you can only hear it through the headphone or the actual physical audio outputs. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm gonna just, move on and read about it when we get to that part. Not that I was trying to do anything superb here, but I mean, obviously this is a bit hard to do when you don't have anything to reference to. So maybe I'll just use the actual kick drum beat as a reference, because why not? And which one was my... oh, number 3 is the clap, so... How is that quantized though? Because that's on step number 5. So that sounds good. Where is my quantized settings? Maybe... again, I'm just guessing here, but maybe this is how stringently quantization occurs. Let's give that a try. I don't know. I'm just gonna delete these notes that I triggered right now. Okay, so that sounds a lot more quantized now. I'm just trying to do one that's like totally offbeat. Anyhow, really, I never finger drum, because again, that's just not one of those qualities that I possess. There are a lot of amazing artists out there who finger drum, and they are really good at it. Unfortunately, not one of them. From what I reckon, it takes a very long time to learn finger drumming, probably about as long as learning drumming properly. So if I were to pick and choose one of those two forms of arts, I would definitely learn proper drumming as opposed to finger drumming. But, with today's technology, we don't really need to know how to finger drum or drum. So this function, what I'm trying to say here is the live recording function mode is not going to be all that important for me anyway. So, but it's good to know that you can utilize it, and there's definitely, like I said, a lot of people who will use this recording mode as opposed to the other two, I think. Yeah, there's a step recording mode too. I'm just saying I'm not one of them. Nonetheless, let's maybe try and record some more. Okay, so that last one, that was really off. That's what I was trying to do. It was really very clumsy, off the grid, horrible snare hit, and yeah. So I am gonna take something good out of this fumbling around for sure. So I guess when you enter the quantize menu and you use the global setting, which is dialed in by the F encoder or whatever you call those things, tweaker, then that basically affects everything. So I enabled live quantizing of my very clumsy finger drumming, and that really put it on the grid, because if you heard the very first one when I entered the actual trigger, yeah, it was really off the grid. But now, yeah, that one was all over the place. So I set the global quantization to 127, which is the maximum amount, so it's gonna put it right on the grid. Okay, cool, that's good to know. Cool. So live recording, let's read the rest of what the manual says. Enter triggers to all tracks of the sequencer in real time by tapping the trigger keys. Done. Press play to exit live recording mode while keeping the sequencer playing. If live recording mode is active and record is pressed, grid recording mode will be activated. Okay, so okay, shit, what did I just do? I'll just God, I really hate this sound. It's such a clumsy sound. Okay, let's use number 4. So now if I hit play, then it will come out of the live recording mode. If live recording mode is active and record is pressed, then grid recording mode will be activated. So basically now it's gonna switch to grid recording mode. The last pad that I used was this what do you call it, ride symbol, I guess, I'm not sure, the number 4. So now if I want to enter more steps for this sound, then I can do that. Okay, cool. Okay, press stop to stop both recording and playback of the sequencer. Done. Okay, cool. So that was live recording mode. Let's move on to the next one, which is step recording mode. Step recording is a quick and straightforward method of placing trigs on the sequencer. In this recording mode, you insert notes by pressing the trigger keys or via an external MIDI controller. The sequencer then captures the note and automatically advances to the next step. Okay. Okay, maybe we try a new pattern, and as we already know, it has the same samples, which is probably one of the reasons why all my samples ended up being replaced with the ones that I recorded, because this must be this whole everything that these banks with the factory preset patterns and what I'm doing, this must be at a level of the hierarchy that where if I'm replacing the samples, it will affect all of them, something like that. I'm pretty sure it's a very multi-step. You know, you have the hard drive, and then you have projects within the hard drive, I'm guessing, and then within the projects you can have maybe songs, and within the songs you can have patterns. So maybe I'm in one song and all these patterns belong to one song, and if I replace the samples that belong to that one song, then all the other patterns are going to be affected by this replacement. But again, I'm just speculating, and I'm putting the carriage in front of the horse. It just really bothers me, and I really want to figure out what happened there, but that's what I think what happened. Nonetheless, it's not where I am right now, because right now we are with step recording mode, so let's keep paying attention to that one. Okay, so where the hell am I? New pattern. Okay, so there's nothing here. We have our amazing sounds already in there. So press record and stop to enter step recording mode. The record key starts double blink red, which it is. Yeah, it's double blinking red. Press the trigger key to select the active step to where you want to start to add triggers. Press the trigger key to select the active step to where you want to start to add triggers. Okay, so just for shits and giggles, let's choose number 5. So now that's also, I guess the double blinking green shows where the pattern is gonna start. Plus function plus trigger to add a note trig to the selected step. The active step automatically advances to the next step. So press function plus trigger. And then it advances to the next step. To remove a trigger or to add a rest, no trigger, press the trigger key for the trigger that you want to remove or add the rest to, and then press no. So let's do this again. Plus press function plus trigger to add a note to the trigger to the selected. And if I don't want a step to be there, okay, no. Okay, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, sorry, function. Okay, so basically if I keep pressing, then it's gonna keep adding triggers. Woohoo, snare roll. Richie Houghton is in the house. Man, I love that guy. So basically the green denotes wherever the pattern is supposed to be starting. So if I put it there, I guess now if I enter more triggers, it's gonna do it from that point, yeah. Okay, makes sense. Now it says to remove a trigger or to add a rest, press the trigger key for the trigger that you want to remove or add the rest to, and then press no. So if I want to remove step 11, press no. It's not removing anything. So why? See, it hasn't removed anything, so I don't understand. Press the trigger and then no. I don't. It's maybe I'm being an idiot or I'm just not understanding something simple, but it's not really doing what it needs to be doing. Anyhow, let's try this again. This is wonderfully clumsy, and you know what? My apologies. But I guess this is just how this goes. I mean, when you're learning, you're gonna look really stupid. And if you're crazy enough to put yourself out there in public, like I am right now, then you run the risk that you're gonna look even more stupid. Because if you guys weren't watching right now, then you know I wouldn't really care. But you're watching, and I feel extremely stupid by being very clumsy here, but it is what it is, and it's just a part of it. So let's try this again, because I don't understand step recording mode, and I consider myself a fairly well-educated person with a pretty decent knowledge in music and technology, but for some reason I can't figure out step recording mode. So let's read it again. Step recording is a quick and straightforward method of placing trigs on the sequencer. In this recording mode, you insert notes by pressing the trigger keys or via an external MIDI controller. The sequencer then captures the note and automatically advances to the next step. Okay, I get that part. So press record and stop to enter step recording mode. It will start double blinking. Great. And again, I'm guessing you're supposed to select the sample that you want to work with, as opposed to the live recording mode where you know you can just play anything and you don't have to pre-select a sample to enter them, because you can just play them on an individual basis. With the grid recording mode, you have to select the sample first in order to, you know, enter notes or triggers, if you will. And with the step recording mode, you also need to select the sample first in order to be able to enter triggers for that one sample. So okay, so we have the snare sample, record plus stop. This is going to be the first step, whatever, let's make that the first step of the sequence. Then it says press function plus trigger to add a note to the selected step. Which trigger though? Am I pressing the trigger of the actual sample? No. Am I pressing the trigger here? Yes. Okay, because now that moved to the next one. But then, do I keep pressing this trigger? It looks like it, yeah. So what if I press this trigger? No, that also moves. What if I press this trigger? That also moves it. That trigger also moves it. What if I press this trigger here? So, oh, for crying out loud. You're such an idiot, Attila. And here is your light bulb moment. Okay? Okay, so this basically... Okay, I think this basically turns this into an actual keyboard, and it plays the sample at the pitch that you're playing it at. Okay, so let's test this theory here. So I'm just gonna enable my keyboard down here. And naturally we're gonna have to work with okay, so why is this not working right now? can I not trigger samples via MIDI controller through Overbridge? I thought I could do that. Okay, wonderful. I guess not. Wow, I'm really a noob with this thing, and it's a hell of a lot more complicated than I originally thought. It's okay. It will all be worth it. Keep going. So anyway, step recording mode. So basically what I realized right now, when I enable step recording mode, and I press function, you see how this basically becomes a keyboard. So this would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then these would be the black keys. So I can use this is not really for drum sounds, obviously. This is more for tonal sounds, which, let's say this one here. Okay, so I'm going to select this really goofy sounding tom, and we're going to enter step recording mode. When I press the function key, this becomes a chromatic keyboard, so I can play this sample at different pitches, and every time I play a pitch, it will register it at whichever pitch I played it at, and it will basically just move on to the next step in the sequence. So you know, let's jump onto a third pattern, because this one is starting to sound like a bag of cats in a washing machine. Okay, so I'm still at this one here. Enable step recording mode, hold function, and now it's playing those pitches. Oh, okay. Okay, so if you have a tonal sample, like a bass one shot or whatever one shot, synth one shot, and you have that loaded in here properly, then this is how you can play the pitches. Now, one thing I still don't understand is how to do a rest or no trigger. So yeah, I mean, that was fun. First of all, I had absolutely no idea what this step recording mode was useful for, and that's because I'm still looking at the Digitakt as a drum machine for some reason, which I should probably stop doing, because it's one thing that it can play drum samples, and I think it's mostly used for creating drum patterns, but that's not what this thing is. It's a sample player, and nobody forbids you to use samples that are not drum samples, right? So if you put a vocal chop in there, or a bass sample, or a sample from a pluck or whatever, then obviously you can play it and you can create melodies with it, right? And that's what this step recording mode is, and I should have known that, because, you know, step recording mode is obviously, this is what it does. It's on the Ableton Push 2. It's in basically any sequencer that you can get your hands on, more or less. So, you know, yeah, it's being narrow visioned, or what's the word for it? Narrow minded. I guess that's the term for it. When you look at one thing, and because, you know, it says 8-voice digital drum computer, to me that meant drum machine, like the Arturia DRUMBRUTE or a Moog DFEM, but that's not what it is. And okay, don't even get me started on the Moog DFEM, because that is also not a drum machine. Whole another story. But yeah, because I thought I kept thinking this is a drum machine, and I was playing around with drum samples. I just couldn't for the life of me figure out why the step recording mode would be useful. But now that I realize that it's to play different pitches of notes of one sample, it makes a hell of a lot more sense. Okay, cool. I will sleep a lot better tonight after this epiphany. Okay, I still need to tackle this part here. To remove a trigger or to add a rest, press the trigger key for the trigger that you want to remove or add a rest to, and then press no. So, press the trigger key, press no. Did it remove it? No, man, it didn't. I don't know, maybe I need to be not in recording mode. Nope. Oh boy. To remove a trigger or to add a rest, press the trig key for the trigger that you want to remove or add a rest to, and then, so not at the same time, but then press no. This is the no button, right? Okay, I don't understand, man. Okay, let's start over again. And the way I know for sure how to remove trigs is by entering the grid recording mode and just removing them. So that's clear. Now the pattern is clear. We can't hear anything. So press the trigger, press no, doesn't do shit, no. Maybe I have to press the function key as well while this is happening. Okay, well, you guys didn't put that in the manual, so you also have to hold the function key, and then you have to choose the trigger that you want to add the rest to, and then you have to press no. Okay, well, that would have been a useful information to have. Okay, so to remove a trigger or to add a rest, press the trigger key for the trigger that you want to remove or add the rest to, and then press no while, while holding the function button as well. Holy moly, okay. So if I'm holding the function, I want to get rid of the second one, hit no. Oh, sorry, we have to be in recording mode. Okay, now if I want to add more, let's say starting here, again, function. And now if I want to remove this one, function, the trigger key, and no. Oh my God. What a fucking idiot. Okay, I really need to learn either how to read or how to interpret what I'm reading, because I thought this was supposed to be like a button combination, because I mean, okay, to enter a step, you do have to hold the function key. Okay, so I'm entering the step. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to justify why I'm being an idiot. So to enter a step in the step recording mode, I do have to hold the function key, and now I can play the keyboard, and then it's going to be adding steps beautifully. Hallelujah. Okay, but because of the fact that when I'm entering notes, I have to hold the function key to enter the notes, to me it only made sense that when I'm trying to remove notes, I also have to hold the function key. Now, to add to that, the fact that the manual does say, press the trigger key and then press no, I figured it was a button combination. So I'm pressing the trigger key and I'm pressing no, like, anyways, I'm pressing no, and nothing happened. Whereas all I needed to do is select the step and press no. Select the step and press no. Select the step and press no. So scrap that. You don't have to be holding the function key and then the note and the note. That's stupid. I don't even know how I came up with that. You just have to select the step and press no. And that's all there is to it. Awesome. Wow, good Lord. That was a tough that was a tough one. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I think that's the longest time I spent figuring out one function. You know, and this is probably because I'm so used to how the sequencer works in Ableton, or how the sequencer works on, you know, the Sub 37 or a Mother 32. And this is, like I said it in the beginning, these devices are in their own category. You have to learn them from scratch, from start. You can't just flip a switch on a Digitakt and start playing around and expect that you'll be able to do everything. It's a very steep learning curve, and now I'm starting to understand that. So I guess a very good attitude to have when you're starting to learn these things is to promise yourself that you're going to be patient with it, and you're not going to throw it in the corner after the first, second, or even the 17th failure of trying to figure something out. Because that's exactly what happened here. And I'm pretty sure you could tell that I was getting a bit frustrated, because how the fuck am I unable to figure out step recording mode on a sequencer? Like, I mean, that's like a 10-year-old kid trying to learn how to read and not being able to read. But, you know, I stuck with it, and I just kept fumbling around until finally it dawned on me that it's not the manual who is stupid, it's not the device that it's a piece of crap, it's me who just simply didn't understand what I was reading. I couldn't see the forest from the trees, basically. So, yeah, I mean, in that case, you either get frustrated and then you get up and then you go away and then you try and do something else, or you blow up and then you flip the table and then, you know, you basically give up producing music, and then and then you're back in half an hour to keep trying anyway, or you keep trying to work the problem and figure it out, and I guess I was able to figure it out. Okay, So now that I understand what's actually going on here, let's do this all over again, okay? So, step recording mode. Press record and stop to enter step recording mode. What this does, this will give you the ability to play different notes of one sample. So again, if you have a tonal sample, this is not necessarily for drum samples, because, you know, although everybody says you have to tune your kick drum, and then deadmau5 says, whoever says that you have to tune your kick drum is a fucking idiot, and then the third guy comes out and says that deadmau5 is a fucking idiot because you do have to tune your kick drum. Anyways, that's a whole another argument. I do tune drum samples, so that's, although this is not the way I would do it in a sequencer, but again, if you have a sample that's a tonal sample that you're trying to create a melody out of, then step recording is a very good way to do that. Okay, so now we are in step recording mode. The next step is to press the trigger key to select the active step where you want to start to add triggers. Okay, so let's say I want to add a quick riff at the end of this one bar segment of the sequence. Now what I can do here, if I press the function key, which the function key turns these 16 pads into a chromatic keyboard. So you see C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. So now I have a chromatic keyboard here, and if I want to play a note of the selected sample, then basically I can play it on this keyboard, and every time I press a key, it will advance to the next step. So on step 14, my latest keystroke was recorded. Now I can record another one, and then it jumps ahead again, and then I can record another one. So you see 14, 15, 16 have been recorded. Okay, now to remove a trigger, you don't have to be an idiot like me trying to press 17 different buttons at the same time. All you do is select the trigger and hit no. Awesome. Okay, so, well, this ended up giving me a few more pieces of gray hair, but I think it was worth it, because, yeah, after all, it is definitely a very useful feature, and I'm definitely going to be using it a lot now that I know what it does. Okay, cool. So that's another segment of the Quick Start Manual tackled, although it was fairly painful, and again, apologies for all the fumbling around. Again, at the end, to me, it was worth it. We're gonna keep going in the next one. I'm gonna quit this stream here and now because I'm hungry and I need to eat something, but I'll definitely see you in the next one. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, please leave it in the comment section below. Yeah, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.